Good afternoon, beekeepers and bee enthusiasts. How you doing? It's another great day at the farm, and we're hanging out. It is just about mid-April now. The weather is beautiful outside. I mean, right now it's like the mid-60s. It's very warm outside, and the honeybees are getting active. And the reason why they're getting active is because swarm season is nearly here, okay? We're just about to start swarm season here in Western North Carolina. And if you don't know what swarm season is, it is when bees get very active, and they will basically split colonies and go search for new homes. And during this period, we as beekeepers can put out beautiful homes such as these swarm hives here and try to catch those swarms that are in the wild. And the reason why we want to catch these swarms is because honeybee swarms are the healthiest bees you can find. They are used to your climate, they are used to your nectar flow, they're used to your weather, they're used to all that stuff. And so honeybees that you can catch in the wild through swarming, those are the healthiest bees you're going to find. So we thought we'd come at you with a video today talking about what swarm season is exactly. And while I'm talking about it, I'm going to be baiting this beautiful swarm hive here and getting it ready. And then later on, you're going to see me basically put it in a tree and get it leveled and basically get it good to go and show you how easy it is to catch honeybee colonies. And it really is as simple as that. I mean, it's a lot of fun too. I always enjoy it. And catching honeybees is a huge adrenaline rush. So, you know, we always enjoy catching bees. It's a lot of fun. We know you're going to enjoy this video, and without further ado, let's break right into it. So what is swarm season, and why do we get super excited about it every year? And, you know, we can definitely benefit from it. What is so good about swarm season? Well, we're going to be talking all about it right now, and while we're doing so, I'm going to be baiting this swarm hive right here. I'm going to show you, I'm going to be kind of talking to you about what I'm doing. And I'm going to be getting it ready, and then later on we're going to go put it up in a tree and get it all set, and then it'll be ready to catch some honeybees. Now, what we're doing, of course, is we are trying to catch a honeybee swarm. And a honeybee swarm derives generally from swarm season. And what swarm season is it is when honeybees will reproduce on a colony level. So we all know that honeybee queens will lay eggs individually and they'll hatch individual bees and all that stuff. But what I like to say is in the swarm season, they are reproducing on a colony level because basically the entire colony will split in swarm season and half of the honeybees will go and search for a new home. Now, along with the half of the honeybees that go, with them also goes the old queen of the colony, which means the honeybees have to get a new queen to basically take over the old colony that remains in the hive. So they will basically hatch a new queen, and when they do, that new queen will stay behind and stay with the bees that remain behind, and the old honeybee queen will basically go with about up to half of the colony and search for a new home. Now, this is a big part of beekeeping life because honeybees will basically say, okay, we are getting kind of cramped in our space, which is what generally happens. We need to split because we're hatching more bees than we can contain in this one hive. So basically, half of them will go and search for a new home. Now, that is where we come in. If we can basically take swarm hives such as these and get them baited to get just the right smell, just the right amount of container size and all that stuff, and basically get it just right for the honeybees, they will move in and we will have a brand new swarm of honeybees. So when we're talking about the swarm hive and how we bait it to get it ready, one of the really good things I like to use is something called propolis. Now, if you don't know what propolis is, it is tree resin that honeybees collect, and they basically use it on their inside of their hives to seal cracks. And it has a really good smell to it. It smells really fantastic, and they use this stuff all the time on the inside of their hives. So if we can take propolis, such as the stuff I have right here, and we can rub it on the inside of the hive, we can give it a smell that the honeybees are familiar with. Remember, we want them to know that this is a good home. So we basically give them something that gives them a familiar smell, and we get that propolis in there, And they can't get enough of it. I mean, they really love it. And, you know, you can't put enough of this stuff. I mean, it really just smells good, and the honeybees love it. And if you don't have propolis in your bee yard or anything like that, you can actually get some from Dr. Leo's website, horizontalhive.com. There I bought this propolis, and I got it. And so I use it on the inside of my swarm hives to get them good to go. Now, with swarm season, the reason why we really focus on catching honeybees, and the reason why we take these bees versus going and just buying boxes of bees from some other location, is honeybee swarms are very healthy honeybees. Okay, they generally send out healthy honeybees when they're looking for new homes, and when they do that, they are coming from an area that is in your local area, basically. So the honeybee swarms are coming from your local area. Now, why is that important? Well, climate changes a lot with different areas. So, you know, if you live way down south where it gets hot a lot earlier in the season, or you live up north where it gets cold sooner, or whichever, it changes a lot. And what also changes is things like the nectar flow. So the nectar flow can be different periods for different areas. So basically, if you were to take a queen of honeybees and a box of bees from somewhere way warmer than where you live, those honeybees are not going to be laying eggs to basically get control of the nectar flow as best they can. And basically, they will be laying eggs at wrong times, and it's a world of trouble. So you're much better off getting swarms, okay? Remember, swarms come from your local area. They're used to your area, they're used to your weather, you're used to your nectar flow, and they are just really good bees. So whenever we're trying to acquire new bees, the best way we can do it is by catching swarms. And I don't have a problem with anybody if they go and buy packages of bees or anything like that. You know, do what you want to do. I'm just letting you know the healthiest bees you can get are, of course, swarms. Now, talking about our bait again. One thing I like to do, or one thing you should always do, is have some lemongrass essential oil in your hive. Now, bees, for some reason, the smell of lemongrass essential oil is very good to them. And then when they smell that, they associate that with a good home to live in. So what we can do is we can order some lemongrass essential oil online. And I got mine, once again, from horizontalhive.com from Dr. Leo. And basically, not only does he give you this lemongrass essential oil, but he also gives you these slow release tubes that you can basically put the lemongrass essential oil in, and you can basically, it'll slowly release the lemongrass essential oil, and it won't overdo it for the bees, because you can put too much of this stuff in your hive. You definitely can. So what I like to do is I like to just fill this tube about halfway, and then that's all I got to do. Let's see if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's halfway full there. And that's the lemongrass essential oil. And this slow release tube will slowly release the lemongrass essential oil. And the bees, when they come to this home, they're going to be like, man, this is the place to be. Like this is a really good smell. We can definitely associate this with our home, and they will definitely really like it. So I basically put that on the inside of there, and that's good to go. And so good. So now we got lemongrass essential oil. So we got our propolis, we got our lemongrass essential oil. There's one more nice piece of bait that we can get that really helps the honeybees, and it'll really make them want to move in. And that is, of course, an old piece of comb. Now, if you can get an old piece of comb like this, even if it's a little dirty, it's got some junk on it, the bees will clean it off. They'll take care of it. But they will basically see this comb and they'll be like, man, we got some real estate here. Like, this is a good place to be. Like, this is a really good place to start. So if you've got some old existing comb, then definitely give that a try whenever you're trying to catch some bees. and it'll definitely increase your chances of some bees moving in. Now, usually I put my comb on the edge of the swarm hive, but someone in one of our videos recommended that we try putting it in the center, and maybe we'd find more better success with that. So I'm going to try that. So I'm putting the comb on the center, on the inside of the swarm hive. And for the rest of the frames, we have these regular frames with an inch strip of wax. And if you need wax, you can go to horizontalhive.com once again, and Dr. Leo has sheets of wax you can buy. But I basically took an inch strip of wax, and I just took a lighter and I melted it on the steel wire and basically put it in there like that. And then if you don't have comb, don't feel too terrible, because we didn't have comb our first few years. So you can just use these instead of the comb, and they work pretty good. So we put it in there. Well, cool. So we get our other frames. So we put our comb in there, we put our frames, and basically that's baited. Now we'll put this on here. And then what I like to do is put screws on the inside. Cool, and that's sealed. So this swarm hive is ready to go. It's ready to catch a swarm of bees. And remember, catching swarms, sometimes it can be a little challenging at first. The best thing you can do is put as many of these swarm hives out as possible. If you only put like 1 or 2 out, then you don't have a huge chance of catching some bees. But if you put 5 to 10 out or even more, you've got a really good chance. So the more of these you can put out, the better, and the better chance you'll have of having some success. And of course, swarm season is the best time to catch your bees. You know, that is when they really swarm a lot, and they can still swarm after the swarm season, but generally they do most of it during the swarm season. So the best thing you can do is find out when your swarm season is in your local area, and basically determine, okay, my swarm season is from, you know, March to May, so I need to get my bees out, my swarm hives out a little bit sooner than that. You always want to get them out sooner than when your swarm season starts, okay? So find out when your swarm season is and get your swarm hive out, and then you're going to have some really good success. I'm telling you, these bees are going to be the best bees you're going to find. I love swarms, and I love swarm season. And, you know, swarm season, a lot of people, you know, really, they look at it and they're like, hey, I need to prevent my bees from swarming. But in a lot of cases, letting your bees swarm is not a terrible thing. And in fact, if you cover your area around those bees with nice, beautiful homes for the bees to move into, then the swarms have a really good chance of moving in, and then you can just catch a new colony of bees every time they swarm. So, but swarm season is a very good period. You know, it's a really good time, and you know, I always look forward to it. It's probably my favorite part of the year. The hunting harvest is fun, but swarm season is probably my favorite, because that's when we're acquiring new bees and we get to experience it, and it's just a lot of fun. So let's go put this thing up in a tree and get it all finished. All right, so we got our swarm hive baited. It's all set to go. So now we need a location to put this swarm hive. Well, if you haven't known already, trees are the best place to catch honeybees, okay? Trees are where honeybees will generally look for new homes. And so catching honeybees in trees like this is definitely good to go. And the best place you can catch them is on tree lines, because bees like to live on tree lines. They like the access to like an open field area, but they also like to have the shade of the trees with them as well. So tree lines are really good locations. And if you've done this like we have, the really great place to catch honeybees is places you've already caught honeybees in the past before. So we've caught honeybees in this tree before, either 2 or 3 different times. And so this is a really good tree to catch honeybees. They really like this tree. And so we're just going to keep putting up a swarm hive here, and just every year we're going to be trying to catch bees here. So we're going to do that right now. And we're going to see how fast I can get the swarm hive up in this tree. Of course, if you saw in our previous video, we used the French cleat system given to us by Roy and Shirley, and it was a really good system, and it was pretty easy to use. And this ratchet strap method, it's definitely a little bit more difficult, but it's just a way we generally like to do things. But anyway, it should be a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and get this thing up there. So one thing I can tell you about swarm season is that you need to be getting ready before the swarm season starts. Like, if you want to catch honeybee swarms, you want to be having your stuff out and ready to catch them before it starts, because once swarm season starts and they're looking, it'll be over in like an instant. I told you it lasts a month or two, but it really is over in an instant. I mean, it comes and it goes really quickly, and it'll just be over before you know it. So if you're trying to get involved in keeping bees, get started early. I've already had a few swarm hives out early, ready to catch some bees, and sorry. I've already had some out ready to catch some bees, and I'm still putting them out now. And swarm season starts really soon. Like, really soon. Let's see if I can get this higher. All right. Sorry, I got distracted while I was putting that up. But what I was just saying was, you need to get started soon. Don't wait until swarm season starts before you're going out and you're getting ready to catch your bees. Get started soon, maybe a month or two prior, start putting out your swarm hives and getting them ready. Let's see. We got our swarm hive up in this tree, so now we just need to level it. That's pretty level. Okay. Dang, that's pretty level. I got that up pretty quick. Not bad. And I've done this a lot with these swarm hives, putting them up in trees and getting them level. I've got a lot of practice with it, but you know, we just started doing this back in 2019. So anybody can learn to do it. Doesn't take a lot. Cool. Now I like to check it one more time just to make sure. Level. Level, very nice. Now remember, when putting these up, it's very important that you get your swarm hive level, because when bees build comb, they build it in accordance to gravity. So if you put a swarm hive like this up in a tree and it's unlevel, then they can build cross comb across several different pieces of frame, and it can make taking the frames out near impossible. So you want to make sure it's good and level so they won't build cross comb on the inside, and it'll be nice and clean. And yeah, that looks pretty good. I like that. I like this spot. And again, the best place to catch bees is where you previously caught honeybees. So if you got a spot where you caught swarms, keep trying to catch swarms in that same spot, and it works out pretty good. Cool. So swarm season is basically here. It is ready to go, and we're very excited about it. I'm very excited about it. Again, this is like my favorite time during the year, is during swarm season. And you know, really getting these swarm hives out, baiting them and putting them up in a tree, it doesn't take that long. I mean, you know, I was filming and everything, but it really takes me anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes to get these set. You know, really all you need is a good container to put them in, and you can get a land swarm hive just like this. You can get one from horizontalhive.com, or you can just use a Langstroth Deep, which is another way to catch swarms. And you can just use either of those to catch them, and it really is as simple as that. So swarm season's here. Get ready for it. We're going to be filming all about swarm season and showing you all the scout activity and the swarms moving in, and there's going to be bees everywhere, y'all. I mean, it's just going to be bees. So sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy some good content, because we're going to be showing you all the stuff with swarm season. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited. I'm very excited. So very best to all of y'all. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Until next time, we'll see you soon.